Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 in celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series and Joy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to www.raceway.com.
14 weeks of blood, sweat, and tears have all come down to this. 4 drivers enter, 1 driver will leave the champion of the Juicy Spider Truck Series here in the Elite Racing Leagues. My name is James Watson, joined as always by my broadcast partner / race control man, Matthew Weeks, and our producer, Jesse Rasimas. First thing, Matt, before we get in any further, what are you looking forward to for tonight's championship race?
I don't know. It's going to be good racing. Darlington always produces some good racing here in the Elite, and it's been a Champ 4 race, I think, in Xfinity before in our series. So I think it's going to be good. I mean, it's going to be hard to pass as usual, but that's Darlington. We're going to see a lot of tire wear and come into play, and I think a fuel strat, pit strat is going to come into play as well. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see these guys battle it out for the championship.
Absolutely. And if you bring home the championship at a track like Darlington, you know you have absolutely earned it. Before we get down to it, though, we are going to have a word with each of our championship 4 so they get their time in the sun before they go out and do battle to see which one of them is going to be bringing home the big crown. And I believe we're going to go ahead and get started with our pole sitter, Tommy Ryan. Tommy, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, man.
Well, my friend, all that hard work is going to come down to this one. What are you looking forward to for tonight's race?
I'm hoping that we go green for a long time. If it does that, that's going to create some pit strategy stuff, and it's going to be really fun to watch. Not a huge field here. What do we got? 27 guys. So I mean, it's still 27. So you just never know. You just gotta. I still want to beat myself, make good decisions, and don't screw up, man. This place can bite you really quick. So I'm just going to drive. I'm just going to do what I know how to do, and things will fall where they fall, and hopefully I get a little luck.
Absolutely, and you got yourself the pole. So you got the number 1 pit stall, and you're going to be out in control of this race for at least the first little bit here. How huge is that going to be?
Clean air is king, man. I'm going to try to hang on to it without burning my stuff up. But, I'm going to do what Tommy knows how to do, and that's just run my own race and do the best I can, and just, don't beat myself. That's all there is to it.
Alrighty, well, one last question. Think back on your season. What are you most proud of from what you've accomplished so far in these first 14 races?
I'm just really winning races and putting myself in position, and that's just going to live by that, and hopefully everything works out tonight. And my Northern Tool Chevrolet, and thanks also to Jameson Custom Corvette and you guys, and I'm just going to go get it, and we'll see where it ends up. Just like I said, just can't beat yourself.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you, Tommy, and hopefully we're talking to you again in 110 laps.
Yeah, that's the plan, man. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, there is our pole sitter, Tommy Ryan, and now we'll move to Ethan Stanley next on the interview deck. Ethan, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, well, some may say you are the favorite going into this one. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I've had a pretty great season so far. really been enjoying driving the truck around all these places. Not too confident about tonight. Truck is tricky. Gotta keep it under me, but I feel like I still got a pretty good chance. I'm starting second after JP got his penalty, so might be able to get to the lead early and control this thing.
Sir, how difficult is it going to be trying to get that track position if you're not able to snooker him on the start?
Yeah, I haven't done a long run with anybody else, but I think it should be difficult trying to pass after the first 10 laps or so, but we'll have to see.
All right, and real quick before we let you go, just take us through your season. What's your proudest moment from these 14 races?
I think my best race was definitely Rockingham, where I pretty much led the whole thing, full distance race. That was a pretty enjoyable one. And yeah, I've just been really enjoying the truck all the way through. I'm not too excited to see what the changes are for next season. Hopefully, it's for the better. But yeah, pretty happy with my season.
All righty, any quick sponsors, plugs, and shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah, if I don't end up in top 3, big shout out to Blue Egg Marketing, staying with the team for a long time, and just big shout out to Lake Norman guys.
All righty, we appreciate you, Ethan, and hopefully we're talking to you again in 110 laps.
Hope so.
All righty, and now we switch to Caleb Pecumer.
Yep.
Caleb, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, heck of a season for you so far. It was really stressful for you there in that final race, just getting to this point. Take us through all that and what your mindset becomes now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal. I knew that, I could only finish so far behind William. So getting a little bit of damage near the end of the race kind of sucked. And I mean, I guess it's kind of controversial that I'm here, and I'm just gonna, give her 100% out here and see what we can do.
Yes, sir. How you gonna do that with starting kind of mid top 10 here, trying to get that all important track position?
Yeah, man. I think the passing is going to be done. It's going to have to be done early in the start, and then if we can survive these first couple laps, I think hopefully it'll go green for a while, and I'll just have to manage my tires from there.
Alrighty, and finally, what's your proudest moment from this season?
Proudest moment from this season is just honestly this. I mean, just making the Final Four. It's the first time I made the Final Four in any series, so it's to me it's a huge deal, and hopefully we can just keep getting better. And I appreciate you guys having me here, talking to you, and let's have a good race.
Sir, and any quick plugs and shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, of course, huge shout out to Bite Size Sports. Shout out to Cutlip for putting this thing on the track. It looks awesome. Shout out to all the Lake Norman guys. And shout out to you.
All right, we appreciate you, Caleb, and hopefully we're talking to you again in 110 laps.
Cool. Thank you, man.
All right, now finally, last but not least, Trey Eidson. Trey, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it all comes down to this, man. What are you going to do, and what do you got to do to make sure you're the top of these Final Four, Championship 4?
I mean, it's the same old. They've been saying it for Darlington for years. You just got to race the track, keep all 4 fenders on it, and see what just see where the cards fall. I imagine this thing is going to be pretty green. A lot of green laps with the shorter field. I think if we can just get through the first few laps, it's going to single file out, and then people will just kind of start logging laps. I wouldn't be shocked if we got a full green race here.
What's your strategy going to be then? What do you think might work here? Not giving too much away, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't let you know yet. I got a couple strategies in mind. It just kind of depends on how the start goes, and then the pace of everyone after 10 or 15 laps. See if anybody falls off, if I fall off, so just gonna probably make my mind up after 10 or 15 laps.
All right, real quick, what's your proudest moment of the season?
I mean, clearly it's got to be Richmond holding Ethan off to lock a spot into this race. that was tough holding him off for 40 laps on my tailgate there. So he's probably one of the top 5 drivers in this league. So to have him on my bumper and not screw up for 40 something laps, I was pretty proud of that effort.
Alrighty, and finally, any quick shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I just got to thank the sponsor, AB Quality. They've been on the Truck and Xfinity all season. Good to get them some coverage with this. And then thanks to all you guys at Elite, Chad and the broadcast and everybody behind the scenes doing all the work. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your lives for it.
Alrighty, we appreciate you, Trey, and hopefully we're talking to you again in 110 laps.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all have fun.
Alrighty, there is our championship 4, and let me tell you, as much pressure as they're under, there's a lot of pressure for me trying to make sure everyone got a fair shake of questions without running over the 10-minute grid time, but everything is going exactly as we all hoped. And we're going to go ahead and go through the starting lineup here as everyone starts to pull away. Your pole sitter is, of course, Tommy Ryan with his teammate JP Phillips next to him on the front row. William White and Ethan Stanley on row 2. The 59 of Caleb Pecumer and the 92 of Trey Eidson, the last 2 of the 4 on row 3. Gavin Higgins, Gerald Campbell, row 4, Seth Rawls, and Jeff Green round out the top 10. Alec Norgard and Michael Hosek are the first page as we see everyone rolling through turn 1 and 2 now. And of course, JP Phillips is getting a EOL penalty for improper banner, so that's going to put him to the tail and going to put Stanley up on the front row, which is a tough break for JP and Tommy Ryan, having Stanley on the front row and not having his teammate up there to help.
Yeah, big time. And that buffer would have been a good thing for Ryan to start the race. And it's going to be difficult now with Stanley on the outside.
Absolutely. And a champion will be crowned here at the Lady in Black. The pace car makes the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Tommy Ryan will lead us to the restart zone. Green means going. We are underway at Darlington. Let's fight for a championship.
Caleb, that's a wheel spin on the start right there.
Absolutely, that's something that everyone's going to have to contend with. And here's Stanley trying to send it around Tommy Ryan. We're going to have 2 championship 4 side by side off of turn 2, and they are still side by side. I just saw William White having to make a big save off of turn 2. Meanwhile, these 2 are still battling at it. Stanley side by side with Tommy Ryan still. And here we go. Oh, Gerald's having a moment of his own as these 2 are going to be side by side through 1 and 2. This is always scary. It is never fun being side by side at this part of this track. That's Trey Eidson right there looking. Oh, the big save from Tommy Ryan. Oh my goodness, that was nearly disaster.
Yeah,
Tommy
that's
Holtz.
a bad thing about turn. I was gonna say a bad thing about turn 2 when you're side by side like that. You get a little too much wheel on the exit, and it just hooks left when it grabs that bump.
Absolutely. There's nothing quite as terrifying as exit of turn 2 here at Darlington. But Tommy able to hold on to it, keep his championship hopes alive. But, man, now he's got a whole lot of work to do. It's not easy to pass at Darlington, and it's not easy to pass Ethan Stanley. Now you have to figure out a way to do both.
Yeah, and what I found out, the easiest way to pass at Darlington is to outsave your competitor on tires. That's the only way, because if you go up there, try to pass them now, you're both going to burn your stuff up, or you're going to be stuck side by side for laps and laps until someone hits the wall or someone gets loose like Ryan did there. So right now, his best bet, try to save a little bit of tires and get them in about 25 laps.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, our championship 4 encompass 4 of the 5 spots in the top 5. The non-playoff driver in the top 5 is William White, who's ahead of Caleb. And regardless of your feelings of the outcome of the race at Worldwide Technology Raceway, I can't imagine William is going to be. I imagine he's going to put up a pretty hefty fight here as Caleb tries to get by. As you saw, Gerald Campbell having a big moment himself off turn 2, and then we got a truck in the wall. Jeff Ryan, I think he got loose and made a little bit of contact with Jane Rasimas. I'm not sure, but that 3 truck is definitely slow now. Trying to recover from all that speed loss. Yep, tries to go around Jay Connor, a little bit of a squeeze, he's in the wall, and then a little bit of contact as Jane's trying to go by. Oh man, and nearly came all the way down into his teammate, JP Phillips. So far, the recovery drive for JP going well despite that little scare. JP up to P18.
Ooh, that was close. It looked like he just tried to squeeze the gap that wasn't really there, and just tight racing. That's really all that was. And he's talking about William about last week. I mean, I would race him hard if I was like in the position I was going to be in, and that happened, and then it totally knocked me out. But even if that didn't happen and they finished where they did, William was still not going to make the Champ 4 race. He would have been out by like a point, 2 points anyway. So I wouldn't be that upset knowing that I wasn't in anyway.
Absolutely. See, we're almost staggered 3 wide as William looking to the inside of Eitzen.
Yeah, Eitzen doing though. I think he's just taking care of those tires. He's really good on the long run. Where we've been all season, he's been one of the best on the longer run. So I think he's just sitting back here with a nice little gap so he doesn't get a lot of dirty air on his truck, and just taking care of the tires. You can see he's running a little bit higher in 3 and 4. He's just not wanting to get be in the same line as Ryan running the bottom, getting the dirty air. He's just getting a little bit of Stanley's running that outside, trying to, take care of the right front with a little bit cleaner air.
You see the little graphic at the top right, track temp, 115 degrees right now. Not the worst we've seen from Darlington, but 115 ain't much better. So that's going to make tire saving even harder on our drivers. As you see, the top 6 all pretty much nose to tail here as Seth Rawls joined the fray. But as I say that, the top 2 are starting to eke away just a little bit here.
Yeah, I think Trey's doing a good job. I think the 3 and 4 is going to hurt him. I don't want to me, I feel like wrapping the bottom, putting that left front right on the dotted line, it really is a lot easier on the tires. Just like Ryan right there. See how he just grips the white line, grabs a little bit of grip, keeps the truck down on the bottom. I think that's going to be the best way to take care of your stuff.
I agree with you completely on that, as Jay Connor has retired from the race. I don't know if it was a separate incident or if he ended up getting damage in that little dust up with Jeff Ryan earlier in the race. But that is season done for the 9 truck, unfortunately. So you see everyone almost perfectly staggered on each line through 3 and 4. Trey right there ripping the lip, and everyone one lane down after. Which is kind of surprising because I didn't even realize Darlington had 4 lanes. Because it barely has 2, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, it's a weird track. I mean, it looks like, 2, 3 wide, and you can do 2, but it's difficult. It's easy at 3 and 4 because it's, y'all can wrap the corner, ride your line, but 1 and 2, it's so hard because the best way to enter 1, you got to enter a little low, grab the apron a little bit, and then let the truck slide all the way up to the wall, and then halfway through the corner, you're playing with the throttle halfway through the corner, and then you're cut back down to exit low. And then if you're side by side with someone there, it's just so hard. And most of the time on the entry, the guy on the bottom slides up and hits the guy on his outside into the wall, and then it causes a big wreck.
And that's what makes this track awesome. That's what we all love about it. Is you see Dustin Dora hard into the wall. One of the first to get the Darlington stripe. It feels like, and especially like you said in 1 and 2, it feels like you just never have enough room. And turn 1 entry, especially, because whatever vehicle you're driving just naturally loves to slide up immediately through turn 1, and because of that, it's just terrifying either having someone on your outside or being the car on the outside, because you're just never sure if there's going to be enough room for both vehicles to get through with minimal incident. And just the way the hump is coming out of turn 2, and feeling like you're on a roller coaster to nowhere, it's just absolutely terrifying to try to pull a side-by-side move.
Yeah, and it's why it's one of my favorite tracks. It's so hard. I mean, I can't say it's one of mine. This is my favorite track. I wish I was out there right now racing these guys. I mean, no matter what series, no matter what car, when you come to Darlington, I will race it no matter what. I had to fight the urge all week and sitting here watching it. It's good. Looks like Gerald's gained a spot there after his big little mess up early in the race. And look at Trey out of nowhere. I don't remember where he started. I was talking in the race control thing, letting these guys, but he's one of those guys that's like really good on the tires, and I could see him coming to life late in this run and really start moving up.
Absolutely, and I'm right there with you, Matthew. I absolutely adore this place too. It's the ultimate driver's track. If you bring home a good result here, you have absolutely earned it. And it's a place that always makes you feel connected with the history of NASCAR and stock car racing in general. You always feel like you're in a time machine going back to the old days.
Yep, and it looks like Trey's caught Ryan here. That backup taking care of his tires is really starting to come to life right now. He's starting to put pressure on Ryan.
Now we're getting close to when you would imagine the pit stops to happen. So now you turn your attention to pit strategy, because being able to pull that undercut might be the difference in you bringing home that championship. You can't quite look at the undercut versus overcut strategies that you would at most other tracks, because of the fact that tire wear is so ridiculous here. As you see Tommy doing a little bit of a business decision, letting Trey go. Trey's going to see if he can track down Stanley to take the lead here. But with how bad tire wear is and the fall off time wise, you can't really leave it that long. If someone pits, you basically have to be no worse than 5 laps later. Otherwise, the gap they get might be too much for you to overcome, even with much fresher tires.
Yeah, and then the strategy too, because I did some runs in practice, and you can get over 55 laps on the tank. I think it's like 58. So it's like you can one-stop it, or you can try to two-stop it. Since you point out the tires are so much faster. Fresh tires are so much faster. We mean like sometimes a couple seconds faster late in these runs, and it could come into play. That two-stopper could be the money move. It was in the Southern 500 we did in Elite, earlier in the season, the Cup side. Like the early stop was the move to make. So, and the extra stop. So I wonder if this could be the play to do tonight as well, or today I should say, since it's during the day and it's hot. So I wonder if that would be the move.
Yeah, but the thing you have to keep in mind is that obviously most people would say that Dover is the hardest pit road entry in NASCAR. I think everyone would say that the next one after Dover is Darlington. This entry is a nightmare because you have to make sure you're inside that yellow line there on the apron, and it's a lot harder than it seems being able to brake at the right time, throw the car to the left, and trying to get down inside that yellow lane without losing the rear of the car on the apron that is absolutely non-existent when it comes to grip. And then, oh yeah, you have the pit road, the beginning of pit road wall, like right there too. And you're also having to go like a lot slower on pit road speed than most other tracks at this size. So having to make an extra pit stop, you're just asking for one of those things to go wrong. And if there is a caution while you're out there, oof, just say that.
Yeah, and then when they updated this track with the updated visuals and graphics of the track now that they have in real life, they actually moved a cone way out in front of the when you hit pit road. So you got to go under that cone, because if you go past it and pull up, you get a penalty. So you got to go into that factor as well. So I think this is actually more difficult than Dover is, since they added the actual cone right there.
And I want to say a pretty big name had issues with exactly that in the Elite Southern 500 a couple months ago. I have the memory of a goldfish, so I can't remember exactly who it was. I want to say it was Tyler Fody, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's proof that even the best in the series struggle with it. So it is truly one of, if not the biggest wild card for tonight's race.
Trey did a good job on his tires, but it looks like Stanley did even better. He's starting to pull little by little.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that no matter how much you save, you just can't overcome that clean air that Stanley has, especially at a track like this. Is Gerald Campbell off pace?
Yeah, I think he's done. I've seen.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Matt. That's not supposed to be pointing in that direction while he's going in that direction. That is a major complication there for Gerald Campbell.
I've been watching him for like the last 6 to 7 laps, and he has just been struggling.
And there it is. Yeah.
And a good job for, I forget who that. I don't know who that was in front of, behind him, but good job of staying off Gerald right there. Oh yeah, that
what
right
a
front
view.
is killed.
Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but it's not often on iRacing where you can actually see the damage show up like that. That is just a tough break for Gerald, and he has in fact called it quits because of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's hit the wall a lot, and I think about after the 10th or 12th time, it's going to really hurt it. Stanley's really checking out now. Looks like that truck has come to life after 25 laps. He's gotten faster, and he's just getting faster and faster. I think running that middle lane that Aitzen was running earlier for a long period of time, I think that really hurt the tires.
Absolutely, but he's got to keep pushing and keep as close as he can. He has to be within some sort of undercut range here when it's time for that green flag pit stop. No one can afford to let Stanley stretch this gap out anymore. As you see, Ethan putting Rob Mooney one lap down.
And they're already almost 3 seconds off qualifying speed, what they qualified. So, I mean, the times are really slowing down. I mean, so he's in the money now, but the thing is, you gotta make it to at least 50. You have to make it to at least 50. That way you can make it to the end.
Absolutely. Is Jeff Ryan down on the apron as both him and Rob Mooney, Litton Eidson, and Tommy Ryan by. McHumer and Seth Rawls joining as well, as they have just absolutely left William White in the lurch. William is starting a hardcore struggle as he's battling with his teammate Leighton Norgard.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of people don't do this. I know we have some guys watching in Elite watching, but the thing is, when you get to this point of the run early in these races, it's a little tip. When you burn them tires off and you're struggling, this is what causes accidents, because he's trying to keep his spot. Let your teammate go. Like right here, just let him go. You know you're struggling. The harder you try to drive and fight that spot, the more at risk you're taking out 2 trucks instead of just yourself. And William, he's really struggling. All right, I thought he was going to race him back. I was worried. But this track is, I know other tracks you can get away with it, but this track you cannot do that at. You got to be a little smart, because this track will make you pay for that.
Yeah. Oh, Tommy Ryan is bringing it in. Okay.
2-stopper. You have to do the 2-stopper
Interesting.
now.
Well.
Let's see if the Champ 4 guys, the other guys, commit with him.
Yeah.
Because if the other 3 go with them too, that'd be crazy. That means anyone could win this race, because the guys could one-stop it. It'll really make it interesting. But I think Stanley's on the thing where he's going to go to at least 50. That way he can for sure one-stop this race.
Yeah, I agree. If you're Stanley, you're probably not even really considering making that 2-stop strategy. You've got the clean air, you've got the track position, you've got the ace in the hole. You're not gonna give it up.
And now the other 2 need to think about it. Eidson and Caleb, they really need to think about it, because they're in the hole. They're losing time to Stanley here. So if they stretch it with Stanley to go one stop at 50, they're still going to be way behind. And now they're going to be behind on the 2-cut, behind Ryan by a couple seconds with the pressure of the tires he has. So they got to pick and choose what their strategy is. Right now, I would try to cover this 2-3 laps after Ryan. I'll cover pit now. Boom. Try to cover him, since you know you don't have the pace to cover Stanley on the long run.
Absolutely. And as Larry Mack says, if you're going to follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. And look at that track temp graphic. We are up to 124 degrees. We are cooking. Grab a couple eggs and bacon. You can make yourself breakfast on this track surface.
And looking at the time of day at the track, it's only 1 o'clock, almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The track's probably going to get even hotter. Yeah, it's going to get even hotter probably. We might see one probably close to 130 by the end of the race possibly. So it's just going to get more slick out there.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're Tommy Ryan, I think you're probably hoping for that. You're hoping that the track temp just keeps getting worse and worse, making it harder to make the tires last.
Yep.
Get them
and
to
Tommy's
lose.
goal right now is to try to be the first car in the lead lap. I think he is. Okay, so now if a caution comes out, lucky dog. So you got that covered to be back in the race.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Stanley continues to pull away from the other 2 Champ 4 combatants behind him.
Ryan just passed White, so he's moving up really quick. He's going to get his lap back. I think in a couple of laps here, he's flying.
There's Tommy Ryan as he's absolutely running down Norgard. Look at that. Look at that. The speed.
The difference of the tires at this place is crazy, man. It's a 3-second time difference between tires, the fresh tires and the old tires. Just insane.
like they're not even driving the same vehicle.
But look at Seth Rollins. I didn't even notice Seth drove all the way up to P4. I think he would technically be fifth since if Ron stayed out. But man, what a good run by Seth to finish off the season right now.
Yeah, he is having a fantastic run. You know, it was a great season for Seth being able to make it and go as far as he did, and now he can use this to continue to build that momentum even higher going into 26A.
I thought there's almost a wreck right there. That was close.
Yeah, I think you're watching what I'm watching. Ricky Hart and Dustin
Yeah.
Dorr, they are throwing haymakers at each other. But Jane Rasimas right there. Ricky's gonna get that spot. Now Jane's gonna try to see if he can get by Dustin.
Eisen's pitting now, so this is. Oh man, I don't know. He's still gonna be short on fuel. I don't like this call.
Yeah. Because, like, it's hard to argue the benefits because you can't argue any sort of overcut over Ryan because, you know, you're not going to be running enough laps to where it's going to make a difference. You're absolutely not going to be able to make it on the one stop now. I just don't understand the end game here.
Yeah. I'm just lost. I don't know. I would have pitted a couple laps after Ryan, knowing I was way out the pace of Stanley on the long run enough just to mix it up that way. I had a couple lap better tires than Ryan, knowing that I was better than him in the middle, late parts of the run. So now he's kind of put yourself in a hole that I feel like you're probably going to hope for a caution to come out.
Yeah, as you see Tommy Ryan going by Ethan Stanley to get back on.
Now the thing is, if Stanley going to go to 50, or is he going to split it even with the 55? I'd feel like going 55 would be the call, since you've already stretched to 50 and they've already made the 2 pit call strategy.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that what does Stanley do? How does he adjust his strategy with what Ryan is doing? Like, does he feel any sort of pressure from that 2-stop, or is he still just... Oh! We got a crash on the back straightaway! William White and Trey Holmes!
On the apron, so it's no yellow right now.
Oh, and there's the caution! Oh my goodness. And I can't tell if Trey got to the back of William or if William just
It looked like William got a little loose and then
yeah.
smacked the wall. Because Trey gets there, but he doesn't touch him.
Yep,
loose,
nope,
and then they just... Yeah.
That is unfortunate. That's unfortunate for Trey too, having a great run and just wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, Will was struggling with tires getting loose on the exit, and I think where Trey was better and he got close enough, he pushed some dirty air on the back of Will's car, and it got Will's car even more loose on the exit there.
Alrighty, well, we are going to go ahead and take our first break, and we will be back shortly.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alrighty, we are back, and this really throws a huge wrench into a lot of plans out there. Stanley is still your leader, but Caleb Pecumer comes off a pit road at 5th. Tommy Ryan is in 10th, and Trey Eitzen having to take the wave around. So things are looking really good if you're sitting in the pit box of the 91 truck. As we see the pace car getting ready to make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Ethan Stanley will lead us back to the restart zone. Green means go. We're back underway at Darlington. Huge jump for Ethan Stanley as Seth Rawls is trying to... Oh, we got truck hard to the wall, Hosek. I think a little bit of contact between the 24 and the 32. That was nearly race ending for Tommy Ryan, who had a front row seat of that. Yeah, huge move from Dewar up into Hosek. Suddenly Tommy Ryan had the 24 truck in his lap. But we stay green for now. Seth Rawls will start absolutely heat up the rear of that 91. Trey Eitzen up to 14th right now. Lots to recover for that 92. Seth has his hands full with the late Norgard as he's trying to see if he can get himself into the lead of this race. Meanwhile, as far as the title is concerned, not a whole lot to worry about if you're Ethan Stanley. His next closest combatant is Pecumer, who is still in P5. No spots made up from the restart.
Yeah, that caution was bad timing there, and now they pitted at lap 50. They might have to save a lap or two on fuel maybe. I mean, it's really cutting the fuel close here.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be that much of an issue.
Because I know when I got in practice, I did like 5 laps, and the first number it gave me was 57.5, so it wasn't fully calculated yet. So no telling if it's less than 57, 58 laps, or probably close to 60. So it's right on the number. It's right in there. So no telling if these guys can make it or not.
Yeah, wouldn't that change things up?
Oh yeah, that would be crazy. I'm weird. I'm one of them weird guys. Unlike the plate tracks, the fuel mileage racing at the 1.5 miles and short tracks, that is awesome stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love fuel mileage races because to me, there's nothing more unpredictable than a fuel mileage race because you have no clue who's gonna make it work, who's short, and who's gonna end up running out and coasting it to the finish line.
Yep. And I think that's why the fuel mileage races fit better on the mile and a halves, the short tracks and stuff like that. When we go to the plate tracks, man, that's just full sin. There should be no saving there. But these type of tracks, the fuel stuff is always good. I think it brings out better racing because some people be saving more, so they got to lift, they're way out of the gas more, so not as much speed. I think it makes it interesting.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
There's Tommy Ryan up into P6. There's a long way to go to run down Pecumer.
Yeah, the good thing for Ryan that he was good on the long run. I wouldn't say he was super good like Stanley, but he was good enough to be a top 3 truck on the long run. So he just needs to take care of his stuff here. Don't force anything. He's still 50 laps to go, man. So you still got a long way to go.
Yeah, he just needs to get himself back into striking distance.
And then if he catches Francis and get by him, I think the real fight is going to be with Caleb there. Since they're both Champ 4 guys, he's not going to let them go easy like these other guys have. They've really respected the Champ 4. I've noticed they've been letting them guys go, when they're a little faster, so that those guys can go and race the other competitors. They're racing for the championship. So I like to see the field do that. That's respectful thing, and it's cool to see out there.
And this is probably the worst track to be a non-championship 4 driver racing against a championship 4 is, again, because it's so hard to be side by side and to battle, and the slightest little mistake will turn costly, and you just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I had to do it a couple seasons ago in the Xfinity series we run. The champ race was at Darlington, and I didn't make the champ 4, but I went out there. It's like, okay, just race these guys clean. A couple of my buddies were in it. I'm race them clean, but give them room. But I'm still going to race hard and try to win the race, and that's what you got to do. Race these guys clean, give them a little bit extra room. They're champ guys. They're racing for a little bit more, and that's really what you do. And if they notice that and you're doing that, that's going to gain a lot of respect for you on track, following season racing those guys. So it's really a smart thing to do for your longevity if you're going to keep racing in the lead as well.
Absolutely. As you saw Ryan pass Francis into the top 10. Meanwhile, Seth Rawls continues to hound Ethan Stanley. He's not left the tailgate of that 91 truck since we went back green.
Yeah, this would be a good thing right here for Stanley. Not Stanley, but Seth. Put some pressure on Stanley. Make him burn his tires more up a little bit, and help your teammate who's lost all that track position because of untimely caution. So this could be a good thing to help your teammate right here. But not like that though.
A little bit. Yeah, and we talked about the disadvantages of being a non-championship 4 guy. This is... Oh, we got trouble on the front stretch! Jesse Rasimas! Backed into the wall, but I don't think there's going to be a caution. There he is battling with JP Phillips, and Jane gets the wall, drops down into Phillips, nowhere for JP to go. And ends with the one facing the wrong way on the apron in the front stretch. And we stay green, much to the chagrin of everyone that isn't Ethan Stanley. But yeah, as I was saying, the one advantage you do have as a non-Champ 4 guy is they have a lot more to lose. So if you try to be aggressive, try to go for that win, you kind of make them have to go, okay, what's more important? And because of that, they may not fight as hard as they would in basically any other scenario.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Cause
if you're Stanley, if I'm in Stanley's spot right now and I'm leading, and I know my competitors for the championship are a couple of spots back, and they're having a hard time getting through traffic, and I'm getting pressured by Seth, behind me, who's not in the champ four, who's out here, he's out here just to try to end his season on a high note win. Yeah, if he's putting a lot of pressure on me, just let him go. Yeah, it's all good. I got the championship locked up right now, so that's a smart move, I think.
yeah, because the trophy is much more important than a win sticker. But you also don't want to give up that huge advantage that is clean air and control of the race. Because once you get into that dirty air, you suddenly start learning a lot of things about your truck that you don't want to know. And
Yep, and the handling goes away, tires go away.
And especially when you're having to battle those who have been in the dirty air all race long and know what to expect. You haven't, so you're having to learn on the fly. And that is a steep learning curve in a situation like this.
It is, and everyone's still learning it because we had to build kind of a couple months ago that added the dirty air feature to a lot of these series, even more than what it was. And so a lot of these guys are still learning that, like including me. Like it's really changed how these cars drive behind people, and the main thing you want to be is in the lead, like Stanley. You want that clean air so the car handles like it should.
Yes, because that's what we all wanted iRacing to have, was more dirty air.
Yeah. I know. Well, let's not get on the rain about dirty air. I hate it. Because I know you spend a lot more time in the booth than me, and man, I'm every Monday and Wednesday I got to fight it every night, and I hate it.
Yeah, but Lord knows I also spend a whole lot more time in dirty air, being a skill issue.
Hey man, I don't lead a lot of laps. I just show up at the end. That's what matters.
Yeah, Mister, where the heck did he come from? See Rob Mooney bringing it down to pit road in front of our race leaders as Seth continues to hound Stanley.
Seth has done a better job than the other guys staying with Stanley on this run. They're 22, 23 laps in this run now. Stanley hasn't pulled the gap that he was starting to pull on Ryan at this time. Seth is doing a really good job keeping pace with him. And his exit out of 2 right there, that's money. That's the exit you want. Just like that, real low. Get the car down there and you just carry so much speed. Yeah, Seth is his truck looks really good. It looks like he's handling the Stanley's dirty air pretty good, being right behind him.
Yeah, just an incredible run for Seth.
Yeah, he's doing a nice little bit lower, half a truck lower through 1 and 2, getting a little clean air. Yeah.
Yeah, now this is some momentum that you can carry into next season.
Yeah, I would like him to get a little bit lower there. The key right here is, especially since it's pretty much a 1-lane track, is like you want to be a little centered off him. Half a truck lower when you can, half a truck, I wouldn't say higher, because I feel like higher burns the right side a little more. Just try to get that left side of the truck just a little bit lower like he is right there. You get a little bit clean air, a little bit better turning ability, and it really hooks up. He's just sliding too much in the middle of the corner. I needed him to just to back it up a little bit, really hook the dotted line down there. That's the main goal. Sitting up here giving people my secrets. I gotta quit.
Though we say that, and Seth is starting to drop off a little bit now.
Yeah, he's starting to struggle. He was a little high on the exit there. I think this corner is the one that's really hurting.
Yeah, it's just so much harder to follow anyone through 3 and 4.
Yeah, it is, because you really, there's like really one line at the bottom, then you slide up low. Here, it's better, because like, you still slide up, but you can stop your truck about halfway, like Seth is right there, and really use a little bit lower line to exit the corner, and that helps. But this part of the track is a struggle, because you really got to hook it.
And you're just having to slow down and carry a lot less speed through here just because it's a much smaller radius corner than 1 and 2.
And then Stanley's really using the dirty air good. Oh, that's a little loose on the exit there.
Okay, and Tommy Ryan is going to try the strat again. He's bringing it in. This is going to be interesting once again.
I'm lost because I don't know if they can make it or not. Because I'll be like, oh, they definitely can't make it in pit. But since we know that's like kind of right there in the number, I think this is a tire call. Put fresh tires on it and just drive as hard as you possibly can for the next 30 laps.
Yeah, and if by some stretch of the imagination they are going to be struggling to make it, then it works out really well. But I just don't think there's going to be enough laps to make up an entire lap.
Yeah.
Oh no. Black flag, Tommy Ryan.
Oh.
And that
It held him. He didn't
will
let me
do it.
know.
That is gut-wrenching for our pole
I didn't
sitter.
hear him say nothing over the race chat to clear it so he could just have a drive through. So he had to sit there for the entire hold.
Well, it would appear the Championship 4 has become the Championship 3.
Yeah. So unlucky right there. But that's mistakes you can't have in this race when you're in the you're racing for the title. You can't really have a speed mistake. You can't crash. No, you got to be perfect on these nights, especially when you got a guy out there, Stanley, who you're racing against.
Yeah, and I called it at the top of the show. So having to make that extra pit stop at this pit road just leaves so much opportunity to make a really easy mistake here.
Yep. And now he's probably like 2 laps down, so now he's just got to hope for cautions. And a lot of them.
Yeah, he's going to need this to turn into the biggest dumpster fire we've ever seen for him to have a shot at the comeback to end all comebacks here.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking. That's always the worst when you get the penalty in these champ races and you're racing for it. It's like, oh man, only if I didn't make that mistake, what could have been. And I've been there. Like I didn't get a speed penalty, but I made a mistake one season in Xfinity, and I pitted a lap too early, and Stanley pitted a lap after me, and that gave him the win since he had the fresher tires. It was one of those tracks where the tires meant so much, and I sit there and I think about it now. Like if I didn't make that mistake and actually went the extra lap like I wanted to, what could have been?
Yeah, and that's the thing, that's the one thing that hurts more than a bad break is an unforced error.
Yep. I would rather be wrecked out of these and then have a mistake that I done myself.
Yeah, it hurts when there's no one else to blame but yourself. You know,
Exactly. It's heartbreaking.
but
He's had a good season too. I mean, no telling what could happen in the next 24. Someone could wreck and then we wreck it out. But how it looks tonight, it looks like these guys are pretty spaced out. Everyone's being respectful on the track, so it's just an unlucky timing with that. I'm heartbroken for him for real. He was looking really good.
yeah, and now you got to deal with the worst part of a championship battle in anything. It doesn't matter what series, it doesn't even matter what sport. You know, the one thing that you never hear enough people talk about is the grieving process of having to make peace with the championship hopes being dashed. You know, no one's like went through all that and not going to end up with the big crown, and having to psych yourself back up and get prepared to wait the whole off season that feels like it's twice as long as what it actually is when you come so close and come up short, and then having to go through the whole process again, not even sure if you're going to even be as close as you were the next season as you were this time, not knowing if you're going to get that next opportunity to go one better.
Yeah. Because it's hard. It's hard to get here, and the bad thing about our sport is like other sports, you get behind in the champ game, you can still have a chance to come back and possibly win. When you get behind like he's behind, and you got to run the rest of the race out like this, it's like those last laps, like this last 20 laps, you're just sitting there pretty much beating yourself up on my mistake. I messed up, and it just makes it even worse.
Yeah, and now you're needing to have so much help come from, completely different entities. Your hopes now rest in so many other people's hands, and if no one makes that mistake to bring out a caution, or mistake to give up their chances, you're you're just stuck there watching it go further and further out of view.
Yeah, and as we see, Aiten has only got up to 10th. He hasn't really been able to get back up to where he was. That caution really hurt him. He got stuck way back in the field, all the dirty air, and hasn't really gained that much. And then you got Caleb, who's I think he got to 4th, and he's pretty much stayed in 4th. Excuse me, the rest of the race once he got there. So Stanley's just been a class of his own tonight.
That he has, and that's the thing, is that how many times have we said that over the course of... Oh! McHumor sideways! Into the wall! Oh, and he bounces up off a Rhine! Oh, and he's still having issues!
That car's broke. I can just tell by the way it's driving.
Yep. No meatball, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. But I don't think, if you're Caleb, I don't think you have a choice but to run it out now. Oh, now Phillips is sideways.
Oh, netcode grabbed him.
My God. That is some awful netcode. What in the world? Then I think almost the carbon copy happens to JP Phillips here, but on the receiving end of it this time. See McCorkle there to the inside.
He
and
really
yep,
hit him that time.
yeah,
So-
that one was a little closer. Wow. And we still stay green.
Yeah,
That's
that
gotta
hurts
be
for Caleb.
That does, and that has to be so frustrating if you're Tommy Ryan, seeing that go down and thinking, oh, that might be the chaos I need. No caution.
Yeah.
Like, that really makes you start punching the air and makes it feel like, yeah, things aren't on my side tonight.
Yeah,
Humor
that.
still holding on to P7, but he has a whole lot of trucks lining up behind.
Yeah, and he has
We
a
may-
lot of damage on that truck.
Yeah, and we may get that caution yet. As you see, all three of those trucks ganging up on Caleb Pecumer as the 59 falls to P9. Now here comes Trey Eitzen looking to pass to at least be the second of the championship for as Pecumer hard into the wall again.
Yeah, he's really struggling. That
Yep.
damage, he already was struggling before with the burned up tires, and that damage, and we touched on it last week, a little bit of damage on this truck, and it completely makes it almost undrivable.
Yeah, and it looks it. He's doing everything he can just to nurse this thing back to the finish.
Man, that unlucky, and it sucks. It was net code. I mean, that makes it even worse that he really didn't even get touched.
Yeah, once again, that happens, and you're like, well, not enough things are on my side this one.
Yeah.
So there goes teammate Dylan Javier by.
And it sucks for Caleb. That's 2 weeks in a row where he was going to have a good finish, really running it, and then he gets damaged, and it just completely changes the way it trucks, hurts it. And you get so loose where he has some rear damage, you get loose, and he has some right side damage too. It's so hard, and it just sucks. 2 weeks in a row to have that happen.
Absolutely.
Stanley's what was that? Almost 4-second lead on Rawls. Rawls did a great job to get up to P2 and just stay there. He's done a great job. What, a couple seconds, almost 4 seconds, 3 seconds ahead of Norgard there. Like, he's done a great job tonight.
He did the best job of anyone, honestly. Like, no one had been able to keep as close to Stanley for as long as he did.
Yeah, I think he stayed right on his back bumper for like 25, 30 laps and fell off there, and everyone else started falling off about 20 laps. So he done a great job of taking care of his stuff. Stanley, I mean, the clean air, I think the clean air plays such a role of taking care of your tires, and him being fast, it just makes it's just hard to beat him, especially at this type of place.
Meanwhile, I want to give a shout. I want to spotlight. We might be getting a Harrison Talon top 10, boys. P8 for Harry. Let's go.
Look at Harry. I'm going to be talking some crap to him if he doesn't get this top 10 after this. I'm going to join Discord later and talk crap if he doesn't get it.
If he holds on to it, we are going to see the living embodiment of the guy celebrating like hell, but not on the podium. Like Stanley's going to be celebrating the championship, but Harry is just going to be shotgunning beer after beer celebrating this top 10, and I am here for it.
Yeah, it's been rough this season. It's been caught a lot of stuff, been having internet issues with this internet company sometimes, and then lately computer problems. And he's working on getting a new computer. He actually went and got one, and some things it didn't work and happened, and he took it back. And so fighting all that and still coming out here to race and run where he's at. I mean, it's a good night, and in my book, that's a win for Harry.
Amen.
As he blinks
Oh,
out,
no.
don't do
Oh, no.
it, Harry.
Don't do it.
Don't stay in
Don't.
the race, man.
Don't you do it to us, internet company. Meanwhile, Leighton Norgard having a heck of a run here in P3. He also had pretty much a playoff from hell with getting caught up in a whole mess of things that were not his fault. But this is a good bounce back again, just like Seth, to get some positive momentum here for 26A. It's a little bit of a Darlington stripe there.
Yeah, it's alright. Just a little kiss. He's good. And yeah, like you said about the playoffs, man. As soon as we started the playoffs, I think he had the worst luck out of everybody. It's like every single week he was getting caught in someone else's mess. And not once, but sometimes 2 or 3 times in a single race. And so to come out here after all that and get a solid top 3 finish, that's good. That's a good momentum to end the season on, to carry into next season. And then I know he's a lap down, but my buddy Kurt letting Seth go right here. I know he didn't have internet for a while. His internet provider messed up, and he's been out of the truck for a little bit. And it's good to see him back on track, and he's running good. I know it's not the speed he's like, but his main goal is like, this is his first couple months on iRacing. His goal is just to run all the laps, and that's exactly what he needs to do at night at this track, and he's done a great job.
Yes, sir. A good, clean run for Kurt. Good for him. Oh.
But don't do that, Kurt. Every time, I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, boy. But anyways, coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Ethan Stanley. The winningest driver of this season and one of the winningest in the history of the Elite Racing League. Some may have called him the championship favorite, but that doesn't matter if you don't execute. And that is something that Ethan Stanley has not struggled with tonight. He's not struggled with it all season. Coming out of turn 4, coming to the checkered, Ethan Stanley is the 25B JUICYSPYDER Truck Series champion. What a season for Ethan Stanley. Absolutely dominant.
Yeah, dominating race, just kicked their butt tonight, and he's been on the roll I think all season he's ran real good anyway. He's pretty dominant. I don't know how many wins now, so well-deserved championship.
Absolutely. Celebratory bump from Rob Mooney. As here he comes off of turn 4 to burn it down. Your champion, Ethan Stanley, reigns supreme here at Darlington. going for a one last Polish victory lap. Well, folks at home, we are going to take one last break as our champion continues to celebrate, and we will be back with our top three. Alrighty, we are back, and we're going to go ahead and start with our third place finisher of Late Norgard. Leighton, James in the booth, you got a copy.
Yep, sure do.
Heck of a run out there today. Take us through your night. Pretty straightforward for you out there.
Yeah, I wasn't too confident in my raw pace, so I was just playing the fire saving game, taking it easy into the corners, trying not to slide as much as possible, and that was working out for me. Got hung up behind Gerald for a few laps at the start, but got around him and then was just picking people off gradually till that yellow came out. And then got a decent enough start to hold on to third. Thought I was going to be able to challenge Seth for second, but with the way JP got sideways in front of me, lost too much time and couldn't make that up. So uh, still caught up to Seth for the most part, but didn't have the opportunity to go for a pass. But it's a good run, good way to end the season. I was happy to have a podium.
Yeah, it was a good run and a good bounce back night. A lot of the playoff races, you did not get any good breaks out there. How good is it to kind of turn that around a little bit and try to get some momentum going into next season?
Yeah, I wish this was a earlier race in the playoffs. Kind of have a better result coming into the final few races, but um, yeah, it. I would have liked my playoffs to have gone differently, but this is a good way to end the season and have some momentum ready for the next one.
Yes, sir. Well, awesome run for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you like to give before we let you go?
As usual, the Abbott guys only had Will here with me tonight. Bill Pocock, new ARCA sponsor. Corey Abbott, of course. Andrew Hardcastle, also an ARCA sponsor. Uh, Thomas Coonan. Names I'm blanking on right now, but Dominic Wright. But yeah, good bunch of guys. All you guys that do broadcasts really help put some eyes on the league here and let the guys watch it back and see how they did from a different perspective. And then all the league admins um, making this a good environment for us to have fun.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Leighton, and hopefully we're talking to you again next season.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, and now let's talk to our runner-up, Seth Rawls. Seth, James in the booth, you got a copy.
What's up?
Well, how about that one there? You gave champion-elect all he could handle there for that entire final run.
Yeah, I tried to do my part there as Trey's teammate. Just trying to, obviously don't want to mess with the Final Four, but try to give it get him a little, maybe work his tires down a lot. But he did a great job, deserves the championship, and hung on for it, obviously. But I happy to talk to you 2 weeks in a row. It's pretty, or we had last week off, but you know what I mean. 2 races in a row.
Yeah, it was a good run to close out the season for you.
Yeah, it was honestly, the setup played into my favor there, I feel like, a lot. In terms of not being too much in the right front. I've been dealing with that the whole season. So it was a lot more right rear. I felt really comfortable just kind of running my line, battling the track, not the other cars around me. But yeah, I mean, pretty happy with it. I obviously wish I finished the playoffs, or I made the playoffs a little better for myself. Too many incidents of not my own doing, but yeah, can't complain. Really, just having a decent run.
Absolutely. And what momentum and kind of positive vibes can you take from this going into next season and try to see if you can get yourself up to championship 4 member?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good really at the end of the season, and a lot of strong points during the season. Obviously, made the playoffs, which is awesome. It's always the goal, and just trying to go on those runs in the playoffs is key, especially for a guy of my kind of speed. Obviously, not in the front all the time, but it felt good tonight. You know, running up on the top 3 for most of the way, I'd say. But no, really just more momentum to shift esports back-to-back years. So the truck in the Final Four. I think we're gonna run it back with all of these guys again. So I really couldn't be more happy with Trey, the whole team. Obviously Cody, Jaden, Connor, Josh. I think that was all 5, right? Oh my god. Yeah, that was all 5. Plus me. But yeah, really hyped for the team. Obviously just trying to get those wins where we can get them. And yeah, let's try to make it a little louder for the Shift Esports boys.
Alrighty, well, heck of a run for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shoutouts you like to give?
Yeah, obviously shout out Trey. He was a huge part of the season. Obviously came on for this is his first season in Shift Esports, so happy to have him back next year. Obviously all of our sponsors, AP Quality, Golden Brew, Northwestern Mutual, what was the other one? JUICYSPYDER obviously sponsoring the series, but also sponsoring Josh. I'm definitely forgetting one. Design Ping, who sponsors Cody, and obviously myself, SR Design. If you ever need a logo, paint scheme, hit me up. SethRawlsDesign.com or at SethRawlsDesign on Twitter. And then obviously you guys for a great season. I'm gonna watch this one back. Hopefully I get a lot of TV time. And yeah, obviously, thank you for the Chad putting it on. Everybody at Elite. Matthew for race control all week or every week. Yeah, not enough rambling on me.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Seth, and hopefully we're talking to you again next season.
Hopefully, you have a good off season.
Alrighty, there is our runner-up for tonight's race, and now the man of the hour, the man of the season, Ethan Stanley, your 25B JUICYSPYDER Truck Series champion. Ethan, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, how about it, champ? How does it feel?
Feels pretty relieving. That was a long 110 laps. Just trying to hit your marks. It's so tricky out there tonight. I'm just glad we didn't get a caution towards the end. That would have really thrown a wrench in it.
Yeah, absolutely. You were able to battle Tommy there in the opening laps and got that all important track position and the lead. Tell us what was going through your mind as you're battling with him, trying to get the lead and get that control of the race.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be super important, trying to get the lead. Just fresh air, I figured would really help. And yeah, I was able to hold Tommy off. I think he was just pushing a little bit harder than I was and got that little bit of dirty air. So yeah, I had the long run pace, and I was really happy with the way the truck was driving. You just had to be really careful with it, both throttle and steering. Just got to be really precise. Hot track, hit like 127 degrees at one point. So that was a pretty fun one. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and take us through what was going through your mind when you saw Tommy and Trey bringing it down pit road. Were you spooked at all, or were you going, yeah, good luck with that strategy there, boys?
I was a little confused because I wasn't sure that that would work. And I mean, they got their lap back, but caution came out, so we never really got to see how that would play out. But I think they could have been close, but I don't think we had enough time there, not enough laps for them to fully make that strategy work out.
Yeah, and take us through that battle with Seth there in the final run. Um, what's going through your mind, being the championship for combatant, being ahead with most of your competitors having their issues, and you have Seth, who's not a playoff driver anymore, trying to battle you for the win.
Oh, he definitely put the stress on. Seth did a great job putting pressure on for about 25 laps, just lap by lap pushing. He just had a little bit more pace, but I was able to hold him off and give him a little bit of dirty air. And yeah, props to him playing the team game for the 92. And he had a great race himself too. So um, yeah, it's stressful, but I knew if it went green, I'd be pretty safe because he was definitely burning off the tires a little bit more than I was.
And finally, just you know, you said it was relief after that one. That's certainly what you feel after winning a championship, especially with the season you've had, all the wins and the success, having that relief of being able to get that last thing that really makes it all worth it and ties it together, bringing home that crown.
Yeah, it's really nice. I've had seasons in Elite before where I've won, 5, 6 races and just didn't bring it home. So glad to get it done, and I've had such a great season. Really enjoyed driving the truck. It's kind of a shame I can't come back and run for points next season because out of all the series, I think this is my favorite to drive at the moment. Just the truck series, trucks themselves. So and yeah, we had such a great season. A lot of long green flag runs, strategy plays involved. Um, yeah, just can't be more happy with the way it ended.
Alrighty, well, Mr. Champion, the floor is yours. Whatever you want to say, go for it.
Yeah, big shout out to Blue Egg Marketing, being longtime sponsor with the team. Glad to get them another championship. Lake Norman Motorsports. Me and Caleb had a pretty great race. Shame for him that he got some netcode damage and kind of derailed that. Um, but big shout out to all the guys over there. We all had a pretty solid season. Great love running with them. And then, big shout out to you guys. Love watching all these races back. You guys put on a great show, and it's great to watch. And there's big shout out to Chad and all the admins that run this stuff. Wouldn't get it done without them.
Well, we appreciate you, Ethan. Go on and go celebrate.
Yep. Thank you. See you guys around.
Alrighty, there is your series champion, Ethan Stanley. And with that, that just about does it for us, not only for tonight, but the season. Matt, what are your closing thoughts on one heck of a truck season we saw out there?
Another great season in the books, man, and the champion won it. The guy that deserves it, I think, the most won it. So that's good as well with the format we have. Next season we come back with a whole different points format, so that's going to be interesting. And for everyone out there watching, we have 2 more champ races this week. Tomorrow night we got the Xfinity Series, I think we're at Kansas, and then Wednesday night we're at Chicagoland for a full distance race for the Champ 4. So it's a good way to end the season here. And the trucks was great, good long runs, and now we got 2 more to kick off the end of the year pretty much, and and start over next year and see how things go.
Yes, sir. And we also have the technically championship race for the 03 Cup Series on Tuesday, because it is the last race. Even though we don't do playoffs in that series, they didn't exist that point. But yeah, I believe that just about does it for us, and it's time to get the heck on out of here. For my broadcast partners joining us on this journey, Matthew Weeks and Jesse Rasimas, I'm James Watson, and we will bid you adieu from Darlington to next season. Good night, everyone.
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series and Joy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.